You will never ever imagine that Gray has actually betrayed his friends for the sake of profit. Of course, no one wants to mess with that guy. He's like a big bad wolf. Subtitles. Little Black intended to throw the two of them off the boat, but Old Wang refused to back down and resorted to using force. And then his snake-catching plan kicked off. As night fell, his rig was ready, and the steel wire was all set. Suddenly, there was a commotion in the water, and Old Wang was as excited as a kid on Christmas. He started reeling it in. Soon after, a 500-pound monster surfaced, and everyone realized how terrifying this guy really was. The giant was too powerful for Old Wang to control. Hooray!'s team turned on bright lights to calm it. Under the bright lights, the giant went berserk. Little Black rushed to stop it, but it was too late. The giant monster got furious and kicked Little Black flying, dragging Old Wang right into the ensuing chaos. The giant vanished into the depths, and everyone thought it had run away, but surprise, it popped up again. Everyone was stunned, except for Old Wang, who quickly grabbed the tranquilizer gun, ready to show off. Subtitles. But so swiftly it had already locked on to its target, on the verge of turning him into its delectable lunch in a critical moment. The giant isn't even the biggest threat. Turns out, it's Old Wang's villainous smirk that's terrifying. Old Wang's attempts to capture the giant went wrong when the tranquilizers didn't work and accidentally sent Dinny into the water. Ray didn't think twice and jumped in to save his girlfriend, and the giant quickly dove after them. Just in time, Gray rescued his girlfriend, but the giant came up and chomped down. His girlfriend was in a panic, trying to save him but fell powerless, while Black picked up the shotgun frantically. But Old Wang stopped her. He's willing to sacrifice for that payday. Soon, the giant left after eating. Dinny grieved her boyfriend's death, while Old Wang feigned comfort. Dinny blasted Old Wang for his greedy ways that endangered them all. Old Wang's evil grin grew wider. This failure made him want to take it out on everyone. But there's no way Old Wang's letting the giant go. He threatened everyone for help while the weak just had to endure. If this continued, they'd all end up as Wang's victims, but Little Black had an idea. Old Wang was eyeing Little Black like a hungry wolf, so she donned a glamorous outfit to lure him in. But to her surprise, Old Wang saw through her plan. What she didn't expect was that the real danger was Louis. What a terrible trade-off. They had planned to toss Old Wang into the river, but Little Black's soft heart got in the way, ruining their scheming. When Old Wang woke up, he found himself tied up like a mummy. Little Black soon figured out his scheme. Turns out, this guy was in the snake trading business and aimed to catch the giant for profit. Little Black was his target, and it was all part of his master plan. Little Black loved Old Wang. Humanity weakens in the face of greed. How heartbreaking. They gave up exploring the mysterious tribe, turned back, but Little Black's air caused them to run aground. After checking, they planned to use a nearby tree to pull the boat out. What a bummer. The trio braved the water, tied the rope, and all pulled together to get the boat out. Truly a battle of wits. However, once they left, Dinny approached the boat, ready to give Old Wang a taste of revenge. But she lacked the guts and underestimated Old Wang's cunning. He wasn't scared at all. Even if she tied him up, Old Wang could still handle it easily. She didn't even have a chance to confront him. Little Black and others were so caught up they didn't notice what was brewing on the boat. Old Wang quietly picked up a dagger, ready to cut his bindings, just like a movie villain. Little Black's instincts kicked in. He warned everyone to run back to the boat. In a life-and-death moment, the giant python resurfaced, and events took a turn for the unbelievable. It didn't leave. Instead, it hunted them down for revenge, a true death race. Lou yelled at the giant python, trying to divert its attention. What a hero. To evade the python's attack, Louis swam with all his might towards the shore, earning a temporary safe haven. But the python wouldn't give up. Louis found himself in a dire situation. He jumped down the waterfall to escape, but was caught by the python, becoming the first casualty. Scared, Little Black grabbed an AK, wanting to deal with Old Wang, unsure of how to handle it. At that moment, Old Wang cut the ropes and kicked Little Black out, truly playing in danger. Furious, Little Black prepared to fight Old Wang to the death. But she was no match for Old Wang's strength and cunning. He saw through her plan. The python lurked in the trees, then the tree crashed onto the ship, forcing all to dive in.